What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Will back with another video, and today we get into another interesting video topic. Now, your Cleveland Browns has battled all the way back down 10 in the fourth quarter with Joe Flacco and company to beat the Chicago Bears in a 20-17 victory. I just want to get my thoughts and analysis post game right after I just got done watching the game. I had stopped at the gym on my way home. This is actually the first home game I missed all year. Only because I'm probably going to be going to a road game coming up here shortly. But that's not the here nor there. What a game. First thing first, for all you guys that was killing me about Joe Flacco, we're not going to go ahead and we're not going to ignore that he has had 6 turnovers in the last 2 games. We're not going to ignore that. But, he came up in the fourth quarter pretty big. Kevin Stefanski had some beautiful play calls there to get guys open. And Flacco delivered, and so did the Browns. Having a game-winning drive, breaking franchise records for his most game-winning drives in a single season, and also having Dustin Hopkins out there extending his record with the Cleveland Browns for most kicks made in a single season. He also lead the league in most kicks made in a single season. So, first thing to go over this game, man, quarters 1 through 3 was absolutely abysmal. Defense played great all game. Their scoreboard is not a good representation of how good they played. With the defense playing the way that they played, they only gave up 3 points. I don't even know how they gave up the 3 points that they did give up. But, they gave up a pick 6. That's 7. And then they pretty much gave up another pick 6 right on the 1-yard line. So defense really only gave up 3 points the entire day. So really was 21-3. But, of course, the Browns, Cardiac Kids, had to come back and battle back and win this game, which they went out and did. Now, let's talk about some things. I felt like the way that they were doing Myles Garrett is starting to get a little bit illegal. Like, he's not getting a single holding call. He's being held to the ground. He's being held the entire time. They're not calling it. And something got to change with that. Like, at what point are we going to start talking about this, like, hack-a-shack shit that they're doing with him? And it's not fair. To Myles, he's working his tail off, and then you get to just go outside of the rule book and use it against him. It's not fair, man. It's not fair. The Browns' offensive line get holding calls all the time. That's tic-tac. We've seen Myles Garrett get swung to the ground from the back of his neck and not get called for a hold. So, officiating, man, just continues to be a major problem with the NFL. It's kind of getting embarrassing at this point, how we can't get a freaking holding call. But like I said, not to here nor there. Defense played great. Martin Emerson, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome had their wide receiver core in hell. I think the only guy that caught the ball really was the check down guy. I think his name was like Tyler Scott. Cole Kmet had 23 yards. DJ Moore, pretty sure I think he had 55 yards, he had 45 yards, something like that. Overall, though, he was relatively kept pretty quietly. He only had 4 receptions on the day, I'm pretty sure. I only seen him caught it 4 times. So, yeah, kept in check from Greg Newsome and Denzel Ward and company and co. I actually think the one catch he did have was on Martin Emerson. I don't think he got a catch on Ward or Newsome. So, just an overall great day from that secondary. D'Anthony Ville, shout out to him. Ronnie Hickman, shout out to him. Overall, great game. They completely balled out and played good, stepping up with the absence of Grant Delpit and the absence of Juan Thornhill. So, you got to tip your hat off to coaching, man. Because in previous Browns seasons, we wasn't getting this next man up mentality. We're on our, I don't even know. We got 26% of our entire team on IR. Most teams that have that high of a percentage of people on IR don't make it past 5 games. They probably get to 6 games if they got an easy schedule. This team has one of the, if not the hardest strength of schedule in the entire NFL. And they're 9-5 with 26% of their roster going on IR. If Kevin Stefanski's not head coach of the year, please tell me who is. Please tell me who is. Now, going over to the offensive side of the football, and just speaking on the Bears aspect, I thought Justin Fields, despite the numbers, didn't play terrible. He had a pretty good game. I don't think the problems that they having over there is necessarily his fault. Outside of DJ Moore, he don't really got, like, Darnell Mooney is garbage. Cole Kmet is decent. Outside of DJ Moore, though, like, he doesn't really have anybody to throw the football to. He doesn't have a good running back. And then his offensive line is mid at best. So, like, when you're Justin Fields and you don't have no stability, you don't have no head coach, there's only so much y'all can really expect out of him. I don't know if moving on from him and getting Caleb Williams will necessarily solve their problems. I don't think it necessarily just fixes everything, because I don't think quarterback is the main problem. They got a lot of problems over there. Special teams was great. Borges had one of them terrible punts, and he looked like drunk on it. Like, I don't know what he was doing, but outside of that, Dustin Hopkins doing what Dustin Hopkins does, man. D-Hop winning gamers. If not for Andrew Berry for trading for him for a 7th-round pick, he has singly won and hit 6 game-winning kicks this year. So you got to tip your hat off. I think it's 6 or 5. I might be wrong. If it's 5, then my bad, but I'm pretty sure it's 6 or 5. But just an overall great game from the special teams across all levels. We had a recover muff punt. That's really good. Don't let that go past your head. That's one of the things that led us back into this game. And now get into the offensive side of football. I knew Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt was going to struggle. Didn't think they were going to struggle this bad. This was embarrassing. 26, right? Like, this was not a good game by any metrics. Despite us winning and the Bears choking the game away, because that's really what happened. The Bears choked this game away. This is embarrassing offensive performance from quarters 1 through 3, completely across the board. We had 3 turnovers. 20, I think it was 29 total rushing yards. Like, that's freaking terrible, bro. Averaging 1.8 a clip is freaking terrible, bro. Like, stuff like that should not happen as an offense. Now, as far as why we're averaging that, I don't think it's necessarily all on Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt. I think a lot of it got to do with the run blocking of this team and how they're not run blocking well at all. James Hudson, we're not going to let you slide. James Hudson was getting fried, cooked, put in a blender, abused, spanked. Any word that dominated, manhandled. I could go on and on to describe the ways that he was getting his ass kicked today. James Hudson had a terrible game. Gave up 2.5 sacks in one game alone. Was getting beat constantly. Gave up about 5 QB pressures. Just an awful day from James Hudson, man. And he has to play better. There's no excuse for that. We played the Bengals. They got good pass rushers. The Jets got good pass rushers. The Texans got good pass rushers. He got to step this stuff up, man. You can't go out there and get embarrassed like that by Montez Sweat. It was just absolutely unacceptable. But he's a backup tackle. So, you can't be too mad at him. But, like, bro, you got to do better than that, bro. It's unacceptable, bro. Who else I want to bring up before I go into everything I want to talk about? Elijah Moore had a couple big good catches. Cedric Tillman, he got to figure out what's going on with him. He's running the wrong routes. But outside of that, he has a couple great catches. Amari Cooper, have yourself a day. David Njoku is looking like a top 3 tight end in the league. It might go Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, George Kittle, David Njoku, Evan Ingram. I think Njoku is right in that Kittle, Ingram, Njoku. I think it's right. He's right there. It's one of the best tight ends in the league. He's playing like it for sure. I don't know how much he's on pace for now, but back-to-back big games like that, it's breakout games. He's a top-tier tight end at this moment. And we now have a certified tight end, a certified wide receiver. All the Browns is needing is a quarterback and a running back, man, and they're there on the offensive side of football. But it just goes to show you, despite having a bad offensive performance up into the 4th quarter, this Cleveland Browns defense, like, it don't matter who's in at QB, they're gonna go out, they're gonna give you a chance to win the game. And Joe Flacco came back in Joe Flacco fashion. Flacco came back, 212 passing yards in the 4th quarter. Have yourself a day. You are the Bears' daddy. Just a great 4th quarter comeback from Joe Flacco. Played great, looked great. He turned the ball over 3 times. That shit is unacceptable. He's turned it over 6 times in the last 2 games. Terrible, unacceptable. Can't have that. But great fourth quarter. The Browns is 9-5, and that's why they brought him here to win football games. And he played great. He had made some big time throws, and he didn't turn the ball over in the fourth quarter. That's what's big. That's what's different from last week. Not last week. I forgot whatever week he threw that pick against the Rams. So now you got to go on the road against the Texans and do it again. I think this Cleveland Browns team is one win away, and I think if they beat the Texans, they'll actually probably clinch a playoff spot. So big week coming up, but that's going to be my analysis. Kevin Stefanski, please extend him and give him Coach of the Year. You try to keep Jen Schwartz as much as you can. He's probably going to get a head coaching job next year with the way he's doing his defense right now. Best defense in the league. Our coach is coaching at a top 5 level. We got a tight end playing at a top 5 level. We got a receiver playing at a top 10 level. And this Cleveland Browns team is rolling. Let's keep this momentum going. Enjoy yourself a victory Monday. It's your boy Will. I'm out. Peace.